Have you ever felt like you're staring at an unsolvable puzzle? A mystery so deep, it feels like it's from another world. That's the exact feeling I got when I first saw a picture of Easter Island. Just a tiny speck of land in the middle of the vast Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from any continent. And on this remote island stand nearly 1,000 colossal stone statues, the Moai. They've silently watched the horizon for centuries, holding a secret that has baffled explorers, historians, and scientists for generations. Who built them? How did they move these massive stones, some weighing as much as a space shuttle? And most importantly, why for years the story we were told was a tragedy? A story of a brilliant civilization, the Rapa Nui people, who, in a frenzy of statue building and clan rivalry, chopped down every last tree on their island. They supposedly sealed their own fate, leading to starvation, warfare, and societal collapse. It est a cautionary tale we've heard again and again, a lesson about greed and environmental destruction. And for a long time I believed it. It seemed to make sense. A paradise lost because of human folly. But what if that story, the one we've all been told, is completely wrong? What if the real story of Easter Island isn't one of failure, but one of incredible resilience and genius? Let's rewind. Imagine stepping onto this island 1,000 years ago. It's not the barren landscape we see today. It's a lush, subtropical paradise covered in giant palm trees, some of the largest in the world. The Rapa Nui people arrive, expert Polynesian navigators who crossed thousands of miles of open ocean in canoes. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. They built a complex society, and at the heart of it were the Moai. Now, think about the sheer scale of this project. The average Moai is about 13 feet tall and weighs 14 tons. The largest one, left unfinished in the quarry, is a staggering 72 feet long and would have weighed 270 tons. That's like stacking 45 elephants on top of each other. The conventional theory was that they rolled these giants on logs, which explains why all the trees disappeared. But recent studies have started to poke holes in this theory. Archaeologists Terry Hunt and Carl Leppo proposed something radical. They looked at the statues, their shapes, their low center of gravity, and the way many were found along ancient roads. They asked a simple question. What if the statues weren't rolled? What if they walked? It sounds crazy, right? But stay with me. The Rapa Nui have legends that say the Moai walked from the quarry to their platforms called ahu. Hunt and Laipo believed these weren't just myths. They created a replica, and with just 3 ropes and a small team of people, they figured out a technique. By rocking the statue side to side. Pulling on the ropes in a coordinated rhythm, they made the statue shuffle forward, step by step. It literally walked. No logs needed. No massive deforestation, just for transport. It was a masterpiece of engineering and teamwork. This changes everything. If they weren't cutting down trees to move statues, what happened to the forest? Well, it turns out the island's new inhabitants weren't just people. They were rats, Polynesian rats, who stowed away on the canoes, found an island with no natural predators and an endless supply of palm nuts. Their population exploded, and they ate the seeds faster than the trees could regenerate. The forest slowly vanished, not because of human recklessness, but because of an invasive species. So, the Rapa Nui didn't destroy their home, they adapted. When the trees were gone, they found new ways to enrich the soil and cultivate crops. They built thousands of stone gardens called lithic mulch gardens, where they used rocks to protect the soil from the wind, retain moisture, and release nutrients. It was a sustainable farming technique born out of necessity, a brilliant innovation that allowed them to continue feeding a population of thousands for centuries, even after the last palm tree was gone. And what about the statues themselves? Why build them? We used to think it was just clan rivalry, a sort of my statue is bigger than yours competition, but recent discoveries show something far more beautiful. Chemical analysis of the soil in the quarry, Rano Raraku, where all the moai were carved, revealed that it was incredibly fertile. The quarry wasn't just a stone pit, it was the agricultural heart of the island. The Rapa Nui believed the stone itself held sacred power that promoted fertility. By carving the moai and placing them around the island, they believed they were spreading this life-giving essence, blessing their gardens and water sources. The statues weren't monuments to ego, they were conduits of life, symbols of community, and a prayer for abundance. They weren't fighting over resources, they were collaborating to sustain them. The image of a self-destructive people dissolves, replaced by a picture of a clever, resilient, and deeply spiritual society that faced an ecological challenge and engineered a way to survive. They didn't collapse, they transformed. The real tragedy of Easter Island wasn't their failure, but the arrival of outsiders in the 18th and 19th centuries who brought diseases and the slave trade that decimated the Rapa Nui population, reducing them to just over 100 people by 1877. That was the collapse. So why does this matter to us today? Because the old story of Easter Island was used as a weapon, a simple, scary tale to tell us that humanity is destined to destroy itself. But the real story, the one backed by new science and a deeper respect for indigenous knowledge, tells us something else entirely. It tells us that when faced with what seems like an impossible crisis, we don't have to collapse. We can innovate. We can adapt. We can come together as a community and engineer a new way forward. The Rapa Nui people looked at a changing world and didn't see an ending. They saw a challenge. They use their ingenuity, their culture, and their faith in each other to build a sustainable future out of rock and soil. They didn't just survive, they redefined what was possible. So next time you feel overwhelmed by a problem, whether it's in your own life or on a global scale, think of the walking statues of Easter Island. Remember the people who turned a barren landscape into a garden. The story of the Rapa Nui is not a warning about our capacity for destruction. It's a powerful testament to our incredible capacity for resilience, innovation, and hope. It's a reminder that even when it feels like all the trees are gone, we have the power to make the stones walk and bring life back to the land. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to uncover the true story of Easter Island. If this changed the way you see things, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that challenge what we think we know. And share this with someone who needs to hear a story of resilience today. Until next time, stay curious.